Hey, it's John again. Gonna play some Immaculate Grid. It's Hawaiian Shirt Friday, so I'm rocking my Milwaukee Brewers Hawaiian shirt. Season's right around the corner. Spring training is underway, so pretty stoked about that. I'm gonna start sharing. I'm gonna start playing. Let's get after it today. All right. Yep, we had Negro League Legends yesterday. That's not where I slipped up. I slipped up on Bill Hall. I said Bill Hall played third base for the Orioles. Turns out he played 7 games for the Orioles, never played third. Anyway, let's hit refresh, let's hit go, and away we go. All right, that's a Niger Morgan combination right there. Let's get Matt Stairs. I don't know how optimal that is. Jose Guillen. Scherzer will certainly work here. Sweet. Halliday works there. Yep. Um, Angels. It's Don Sutton. Took me a second there. Let's see, 100 RBI. Harper did get there, but not in his MVP season. Let's go Delgado and Guerrero, senior. Bam, 50 seconds. Pretty good there. 146 rarity. Let's see, I got really low on the Pirates category. I went 222, which is really low for doing the time version. Um, we got nothing crazy here, sixes and sevens, and then probably the highest one for those top three there. Yeah. No surprise with Nolan Ryan. Mike Trout is the highest 100 RBI season. He's only had a few 100 RBI seasons, I think. I mean, hit second, so that's kind of the trend. The best player on the team hitting second means that he's not necessarily the biggest RBI guy anymore. It's a difference. Before, the best player would hit third, and you would see a lot more. They would have a lot more RBIs, but then your number two hitter would have a lot fewer RBIs because they were usually a weaker player. Anyway, it's a fun little tangent. We'll stop share and we'll reshare. We'll find the other grid, which is that one. And we'll hit refresh. And now we'll go for a rarity score. Matt Stairs would have worked for both of these. I'm gonna use Terry Forster down here. Mr. 397 career batting average. You can tell why I memorized that one. 100 RBI will be interesting. I think Rich had one season of like 101 RBI, like 79, I think. Um, Descends, I'm not actually sure about his 82 season. I actually think maybe not. Um, Don Baylor certainly works for 79. Not sure on Brian Downing if he ever got there. I don't think he did. He also had a big season 79 when he was still a catcher. I briefly alluded to it in my book about in the chapter about Reggie Jackson. Um, the sub story there is, spoilers, I guess, but the that part of the Reggie Jackson chapter. I had a whole chapter about Reggie Jackson just because I thought he's a fascinating dude and a fascinating player. But I mentioned, if you go to the Wikipedia page about batting average, Reggie Jackson, who had a 262 career batting average, is the guy featured, which is odd. And I was able to pinpoint based on context clues what season or validate that the season that Wikipedia had was the correct season and figure out which game it was. Um, or I think that was it. I think I was able to figure out the right game. Maybe I was able to actually validate the season. But anyway, Downing is behind the plate in that picture. So I mentioned that he like for that season, Reggie Jackson didn't even have the highest batting average in the picture. Anyway, fun little aside, not terribly relevant. Other Angels who've driven in over 100. I think Jim Edmonds works. Certainly Garrett Anderson, Tim Salmon, Darren Erstad had exactly 100 RBI as a leadoff hitter in 2000. Um, Never again did anything like that. Yes, Trout and Ohtani are going to be too obvious. Pujols did it. Um, Wally Joyner will work. Um, Joyner might be, it's him or Erstead for me right now. Gritch is a pretty low one, I think. Um, One that's kind of nagging at my mind, but I'm going to say no, he probably didn't, was Bobby Bonds. He had a 30-30 season with the Angels, but I don't think he had 100 RBI. Gloss will work. Although Gloss in 2000, the 2000 season had something like 47 home runs and like 102 RBI. Like a very low number of RBI for how many home runs he hit that year. Mo Vaughn will work. There's another one. All these options. I think I'm not gonna. Here's my thought. Let's try Vaughn. And my thought behind that was there was a lot of people who are better known for playing for the Angels, like Salmon, Anderson. I think Vaughn came right after Edmonds. Maybe there was a year of overlap there. Um, but in that same general time frame, there's a lot more people who are better known as Angels than Vaughn. Vaughn is better known as a player for the Red Sox. Gritch is known pretty equally between Baltimore and the Angels. Um, Don Baylor won an MVP. Wally Joyner is the only option I can think of from the 80s. There's probably others. It's just the only one that's coming to mind. So that's my rationale for going with Mr. Mo Vaughn. Let's see if that's a good choice. Takes 1%. That was a long spiel to get to 1%, but maybe that's best. I don't know. Let's see. Blue Jays, Sean Green, Carlos Delgado. I think Tony Batista will work. That's probably in the lead for me. Um, Olerud, Molitor will both work. Don't think Roberto Alomar will work. Um, Joe Carter will probably be one of the higher ones. Um, Jesse Barfield and George Bell will both work. Who else? Who else? Aaron Hill will work. 2009. Adam Lind would work. Same year. Um, I'm gonna go with Batista. Tony type. Goes point 0.4. Pretty good. Let's see here. For the Expos, so I want to say Henry Rodriguez will work, like 96 time frame. I'm not 100% sure though. Tim Wallach will definitely work. I think Ken Singleton will work, but that's another one I'm not 100% sure on. But he had one really, really good year, like over 400 on base percentage. I know he's driven in 100 runs before. I'm just not sure if it was with the Expos. He definitely did it with the Orioles. Um, who else from that time frame? Obviously, Alou and Walker would have done it, but I don't think they did. I think they would have done it in '94 if the season had played out. I don't think you're gonna get it from Vidro. Soriano's less famous than it should be 40-40 season. I think he had under 100 RBI. Him like Loss, like he had 46 home runs and like 95 RBI. His makes a little bit more sense because he was hitting first for most of the season, I think. I think Adam Dunn works. Very sure Ryan Zimmerman works. Obviously, Rendon works. Rendon works. Rendon hates baseball though. um, of everyone I have listed so far, let's take a shot with Ken Singleton. Nice. Sub 1%. I don't know if that was worth the risk. I was a lot more sure. Like Tim Wallach in 87 definitely did it, and he's probably just a little bit higher. So probably not worth the risk. Oh well. I got there. Let's see. Pirates and Nationals / Expos. That's an interesting combination, actually. Lasting's Millage is a name that's racing to my mind for whatever reason, which it seems to me I've played him before. Like he also played for the Mets in there, and it seems like I've played him before, and he's got like 1 or 2%. He's not nearly as rare as I would have thought. I think he was a first round draft pick though. I'll have to verify that. Um, and who else? I guess the Expos come around in '69. Um, it's tough in the '80s because of collusion. I mean, it's harder on the players, but collusion kind of makes the team a lot of players that I might go with aren't changing hands nearly as much. Um, let's see. Well, Millage definitely works. Melanson will work. Mark Melanson. I'm gonna go with Millage though. Only played 6 years. 2%. That's so much higher than you would think Mace Millage would get. What do we think of Ed Sprague? Russell Martin might be a popular one. AJ Burnett will work. Um, so Blue Jays come around in '77. Let's do Ed Sprague. All right, go sub one. All right, now we're going for 200 career wins. Man, did Luberdeck get to 200 wins? I'm not sure. I can't say that with any kind of confidence that he did, so I'm not going to play him. Um, Chuck Finley seems borderline to me as well. We saw Nolan Ryan was the highest person there. Frank Tanana seems possible. Um, I don't know if Langston gets there. And man, for the like Dennis Martinez will work for the Expos. I think that'll be pretty popular. Pedro Martinez will work as well. Um, Bartolo Colon will work. He'll also work down here. Bartolo Colon is never the right answer though. If you're going for a low rarity score, Big Sexy is just too popular. Um, and for the Blue Jays, I want to say David Cone comes up just short. I think Dave Steep actually comes up just short. Like they're both in the 190s, if memory serves me correctly. Halliday works, Roger Clemens works, David Wells will work. Um, that might be the most popular. I didn't check to see how many there were. Um, just backtrack a little bit. Who else was on? Like, Guzman doesn't get there. Dave Stewart had a bunch of 21 seasons. I don't think he gets 200 though. He kind of peaked late and fell off when he went to the Blue Jays. Um, oh, Jack Morris will work. Question is, does Jack Morris work better than David Wells? David Wells did a couple stints with the Blue Jays. I think I'll take Clemens and Halliday off the table. Mark Burley, maybe. I think Burley gets there, but is a little bit because he's a little bit more recent. I'm gonna go with David Wells. Dang, 10%. All right. I'll be curious to see if who I was missing there. All right, for the Expos, did anyone just sort of pass by? Does Javi Vasquez work? I don't think he does. Um, Levon Hernandez, I think was in the 170s. What? Dave McNally, I think played for the Expos. I don't know about him either. I think I'll go with Dennis, but I think that'll also be a 10%-ish one. I'm just not coming up with people who are gonna be much lower. 7%. I think I'll go with Tanana here. Pretty sure on him. So rarity score of 28. Tanana takes 5% where there were 11 options. Yeah, this will be interesting. Let's yes, I know how StatHead works. I don't love how the layout is. Let's see if we can find all the Toronto ones. I can't see my search bar. Maybe this is a ill-fated idea. Yeah, well. There we go. Low value production, guys. Oh, Phil Necro. That's what that one is. That's Clemens. That's Necro. I forgot about Necro. That's gonna be Jack Morris. Oh my gosh, who's? Oh, that's Wells. That's Burley. Halliday. Is that everyone? I said there were only 6 options. So I said everyone. I might have gotten the lowest score. Let's try. Um, let's look at Montreal. That's Bartolo Colon. That's Dennis Martinez. That's Pedro Martinez. That's Freddie Fitzsimmons. It's Bob Lemon. Oh, who's this? Oh yeah, Randy Johnson. Forgot about that. All right. Well, I'm not gonna do the rest. I think I probably did okay, but not optimal is what I'm coming out with. Because if there's 6 options and these guys each take 44%, that leaves 56% divided by 5, which means well, maybe Dennis. I don't know about David Wells. It would seem to me that there would be um lower people. Um, especially I think Phil Negro would go lower than David Wells. All right, I talked myself into I didn't get the optimal grid. That's okay though. I certainly didn't. Anyway, Jeff did though. We'll see what Jeff put. Anyway, thanks a lot for playing, and yeah, I'll probably have some more for this weekend. I might catch up on some old grids, or maybe I'll do my taxes. We'll see. We'll see how the weekend shakes out. Y'all have a great one. Peace.